right. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Common Rule Podcast, and I am your humble narrator, Danny De La Cruz. And, well, I guess it's official. I am on iTunes now, along with Google Play and Stitcher. I think Spotify is, I'm still waiting to hear back from Spotify, or maybe I'm already on Spotify. I don't know. But either way, I guess iTunes is what more or less is I've been waiting for, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess we got to get down and dirty and get serious with this thing. Not that I wasn't before, but yeah. And as I listen through the other podcasts, yeah, man, you know what? I'm starting out. It's still new. I'm nervous recording these things. You know, it's not like they're not perfect just yet. I'm still working on the flow. Still, trying to get smoother and more efficient with it. But until then, fuck it, we'll get better. This is only episode 4, and we'll ease into this. We have a little we got a little sponsor here. We got a sponsor I want to talk about. Phoenix Film Revival. It's a darkroom lab and a photo studio here in the art section in Phoenix. They're awesome. Daniels runs it. We are definitely going to talk to Daniel later on as far as shooting film, processing, and overall talking about what it's like to be part of an art community and trying to educate people more on creating stuff using film and the overall creating process. I'll leave some links in the notes, but the Instagram is at PHX Film Revival, so go check them out. That's going to be awesome. So originally what I wanted to talk about this episode is about flakes. We all know them, but I'm gonna put that on the back burner for a day where I'm feeling more militant, I guess, because I have an issue with flakes, and I'll let it all out in another one. But I don't want to get into too much of an old man rant mode right now. Instead, I want to talk about Mexican food and what we can learn in our creative process from Mexican food. I was having a conversation the other day with a young lady about eating, or I don't know what it was originally, but we were talking about it something, and she brought up the fact and goes, okay, what, she's all, yeah, man, I just had some authentic Mexican food. And, I decided to be a little bit of a dick, and I'm like, okay, authentic Mexican food. What part of Mexico was it from? Oaxaca, Mexico City, Veracruz. She's all, I don't know. It's tortillas and fajitas and margaritas. And it's, obviously that doesn't make much sense to someone who knows what quote unquote authentic Mexican food is. Let me reframe it a little bit so that we can, so you know what I'm talking about here. What if someone comes up and I had authentic American food? And us living here, we go, well, okay, well, wait a minute. What's authentic American food? Talking pancakes, cheeseburgers, hot dogs? What's the deal here? I don't know. Let's take it a step further. You go somewhere and you go, man, I had some authentic barbecue. All right. Well, the guy from Texas is going to be piping up and goes, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean authentic barbecue? Was it from Texas? And then the guy from Kansas City goes, no, everyone knows that the authentic barbecue is really from Kansas City. All right. So you talk pizza. All right. I just had some authentic pizza. And the guy from New York goes, wait a minute. Wait, was it New York pizza? Because that's the only real pizza in the world. And then the guy from Chicago pipes in and goes, wait a minute. Deep dish pizza's where it's at. All right. You get what I'm getting at. Once you start talking about being authentic, the people that are from that particular region or that are educated in whatever subject that is are going to know the difference between something specific that's authentic. What does that have to do with art? I applied this to sometimes when I look at photographs, when I listen to musicians, when I look at any types of art that's created, I get a little intimidated. I get like, man, I am never going to be that good. I am never going to play guitar like Jimi Hendrix. I'm never going to take pictures of Yosemite like Ansel Adams. I'm never going to do certain things the way my icons do their things. And sometimes maybe you don't get depressed. That might be a strong word, but you do get into a funk like, man, what the fuck am I doing here? And that's when I think about National Geographic. Now I'm going to talk about National Geographic, but I'm not here to I'm not going to shit on the photographers there. I'm just using them as an example because they are considered very good, probably the best. You look at National Geographic and they show you places you've never seen before. From Asia to Europe to India, South America, places you've never been to. And these are amazing photographs. Technique-wise, they're very well composed. Everything's legit, and they document very well what, quote-unquote, most of the time they try to advertise. All right, this is what it's like living in Brazil. And then once in a while, they'll hit someplace that in my case, let's just say they hit someplace in Mexico, and they start saying, all right, this is how they live in Mexico. And then you look at the photo essay, and then you start dissecting, and then you go, wait a minute. No, not exactly. This isn't the way Mexico works. This might be the way Oaxaca works, and this might be the way that small town works, but it's not the way all Mexico works, because I've been to so many places in Mexico for extended periods of time, so I understand Mexico a lot better than I know that Mexico's a lot bigger than the photo essay that it's at. So in that case, I don't get as intimidated as much because I know that at one point the emotional content that I could bring to my project is going to be, let's just say, if we're going to quantify, it's going to be higher, if not better, than the emotional content that's provided from pictures that I am familiar with. And again, that's not to say that those photographs aren't great, but they're meant for a certain. Obviously, we're going to dissect and talk about that. They're meant for a certain purpose, like documenting and showing and educational purposes. But what I wanted to bring it home to is that at one point, if Ansel Adams were to come to my town and make photographs in my place, I know that while they may be technically sound and well composed, there will be an emotional disconnect to those pictures than if I were to make them. Now, that's not to say that I'm as good as Ansel Adams. And that's not to say that anyone will be as good as Ansel Adams. And again, I'm just using an Ansel Adams because that's, a household name in the world of landscape photography. But you can apply your icon and your guru to, insert here for your applicable purposes. There will be more emotional connection to my photograph and my work because this is my town. I live here. This is, in certain places you say you grew up here. You know where all the good spots are at. You know where the locals eat. You know where the best food is in town. And that's something that somebody visiting is not going to be able to capture. And in that sense, we are on par with our icons in creating content. We don't have to, we may not have the technical ability to compose and in all those specs, but those are things we can learn. Those are easy, figuring out the mechanical process of it. But the emotional content is just something that comes with experience, and it's something that comes with being able to absorb emotionally what is happening around you in your area, and no one's going to be able to take that away from you. And if you're being honest with your work and you apply that into your work, man, you are on the same level as a Picasso. Trust me, this is valuable. This is so valuable to your work. And the key is, one, absorbing, and two, being honest with your work. Yeah, I'm never going to play guitar like Jimi Hendrix, but I can definitely pour my soul into the 3 fucking chords that I know on my guitar, and someone listening, again, if it's honest and if I've absorbed and I'm projecting, people are going to feel it. People are going to feel it. You know what I'm talking. There's people out there that do a lot with a very little technical abilities because they are projecting a real emotion. And in that sense, you know, I don't feel as intimidated anymore. I think about that and I'm like, dude, keep going forward, creating, being honest. Again, it makes me happy, a better human, and I go out there and I connect and absorb and project. That's, you know, all anyone can ask for as far as being an honest artist. So, you know, the next time you're out there eating Mexican food, you know, ask yourself, what part of Mexico is this from? And if you know the answer, shit, well, you are a better person for that. So, yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Man, I promise I'll get smoother and, you know, at this thing. But, you know, we just got to keep chugging forward. That's how we get good at these things, you know. You just keep going forward. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time. And enjoy your youth.